I'd big nulls. Big nulls.
Balls.
Big nulls.
Why is the announcer still funny?
I don't hear the announcer.
Well, then you're missing out.
Did you disable it?
So gay.
How do I enable it?
No.
Wait, explain this.
Speech to text.
Just don't do it.
Oh, I don't have speech.
That's the announcer.
I don't have it on.
That's why you can't hear it.
Well,
That's probably good.
that's why you can't hear it.
All right.
Welcome to Off On
0 fucks given.
Alright, so it's time to start the intro. Welcome to
Anyway,
another
guys.
episode of the DameCast. What?
Fucking.
Sorry, I had to.
Okay. Now we can go.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the DameCast. Today we will be discussing what kind of things grind our gears in fan subbing and in anime. And it will be preceded by a duel between Azure Hakura or Noir and myself on the quality of Clannad as an anime.
You know, I don't think I have my opinions put together for this battle yet.
Well, why don't you? Because it's clearly shit.
Oh shit.
My
Your
God.
opinions as well put together as that
Because,
show.
unlike you, I would like to have an intellectual argument based on facts.
Alright, we'll do it. We'll rewatch the show and cringe the entire way through.
Oh,
Let's
you
do it.
little bitch.
I won't watch it, and I'll cringe for Cheshire.
I don't understand how you hated it so much. It's a unique
I haven't even
experience.
seen it.
I think it's really
Shut up,
bland
then.
for it's really bland for a slice of life. Like the first season was literally
That's
it was
because
so,
that's because you're comparing it to other slice of lives. It's really not the same
But-
kind of genre.
but
It's different.
What does season 1 have to offer besides being a slice of life?
The setting and the fact that you become. Yeah, we're not having this discussion right
Why?
now. Because
Okay,
I said that I didn't
Oh
want to have
my
this
God.
discussion.
give me the
Oh,
argument
man.
that you need 25 episodes to introduce the two characters that move on and actually do things. In
But
season
it's
two.
not
It's
about
world
the two
building.
characters.
Okay, Cheeser.
But
Okay,
it
listen to me
is.
on this. They did that because they had to show most of the girls' routes in the visual novel. Yeah, it's poorly structured, but it can't be helped.
It's more of like each girl has a problem, and then the main character goes out to solve those problems. That's what I was watching the show for. And each character has a deep plot and backstory. So, you know, I don't know. It's just
Is each one of those? Is
I don't
each one
understand,
of
man.
There's a ghost that makes stars. I'm just saying that they're hallucinating. They're all on drugs. That's what we can get out of the show.
ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
ridiculous?
Oh my god.
Also, there's also the problem of the girl in the other dimension that was like a season 1 thing, and it just
Dude, have you
happened.
never seen anime before?
Dude,
what do you mean
that
it's a
was like
season
Problem
1
with
thing?
symbolism thing. It's not.
Everything was
It's
It
not.
connects into season 2. That was the whole
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Did you not
Wait,
watch
did
the
you
anime?
did you not finish?
No, I did. Oh wait, does it connect to the very ending, the bullshit ending where it's like I love this city, so everything's fixed?
No, it connects to
Dude,
like
you didn't
you've
even
got
watch
it.
it, did you?
You've got it all wrong, mate. It's not like that at all.
Man,
But-
it's nice not to be on the losing side.
What?
Remember
What?
Madoka? Everyone is wrong. Everyone is right except for Jark.
No. There's no right or wrong side. It's just everyone else is ganging up on you.
Okay.
Shut up, George.
Okay.
I'll have to
I'm sad now.
rewatch this, but I'm pretty sure the ending was some modification of like I really appreciate the experiences I had in the city, and so he gets another chance. Right?
I don't want to
I'm
confirm or deny that because I'm not entirely sure.
I'm gonna be real here. I was like 15 when I watched Planet. I didn't understand the ending at all.
I watched it when I
Alright.
was 17, and I still don't understand the ending.
When did I watch this show?
Oh shit! I was like 14 or something. Holy crap!
I watched the show in 2009. How old was I then?
Too long.
2009. I was like 16, 15, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think it would have been about 2010 for me.
Oh, hell, y'all are all so young.
I'm a
You're
young,
just old.
I'm a youngie.
I was 16 in 2010. Fuck.
Wait, that means that Azure, you're a lot older than I thought.
Azure
I'm
is
the
19.
I'm the same age as you guys,
Are you?
right?
2009 would have been like 14 then.
Oh, what it?
I was.
Yeah, you're right. 14, 15.
Jesus. I was
I feel
17, 18. No.
You're all fossils. You're like fucking dinosaurs or some shit. I swear to God.
Prehistoric, for real.
I know. Talk about museum artifacts.
Hey,
Damn.
at least I'm worth a lot.
Right.
Are you?
now?
I
Well,
doubt it.
Are you?
I told myself I wouldn't rewatch
Worth its
anime.
weight in gold.
What?
I told myself I wouldn't rewatch any shows until I had like gotten at least through like 50% of my backlog. But I'll make an exception for one ad.
How
so that
long
we
ago
can
did
have
you watch
this
it?
discussion. Probably a year and a half.
So he's got the most recent memory of it.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And before you're all wrong. And he's right. The
About
show.
what?
You haven't
No,
even
I'm
watched
just
it.
saying-
Okay.
no,
You
I
should-
mean,
you
it's
should
like
watch
50
it.
episodes. Do you really have the motivation to watch it right now?
No, I actually don't at all.
You have a lot of other shit you need to watch on your backlog. So
Black log.
Like,
Blacklog,
like
Freudian
Chaos
slip.
in season 2.
What are you trying to say, bro?
what? Nothing.
What?
He's
Nothing,
just-
I'm sure. I
He's
believe
just
you.
floating.
I'm floating. What?
Alright, now we can smoothly transition this into discussion about pet peeves.
So, guys, we're just joking. We're actually talking about pet peeves.
So
for
I really
DameCast.
hate when
Sorry
it
about
takes
that.
a show a whole season to get to the 4 good episodes. With the 2 new characters that...
Yeah, I know, right?
I believe that is an opinion.
No, but no, so okay. Fan subbers. Are we gonna talk about fan subbers and what they annoy us? Not specifics.
I hate
Not
fan
why
subbers.
No one specific, please. I gotta edit
No,
that
not-
stuff
no.
out.
No.
We're not
God.
gonna shit talk people, just like in general. Like,
Alright,
how
okay,
they're
look,
fan
let me
let me
take
subbers.
this
start.
first one.
Go ahead, Noah.
Okay, so I hate fan subbers, especially Benga and Cheshire and Jark and Serapt and Steiner.
Wow.
I also hate that Noir guy, like he's
Yeah.
a bitch.
What
And
a
that's my
faggot.
take on fan
He
subbers.
really
They're all
is.
faggots. The end.
No. but-
God. He really is. Like, don't even bother.
No, what really bothers me is
Um,
that is especially Blu-ray groups. Blu-ray groups annoy the shit out of me because I only want to watch Blu-rays for shows that have already aired, or I guess DVDs if that was all that was available. And they don't know how to fan sub. I don't get it. They really
They
don't.
don't.
It's like I don't think I've seen a good Blu-ray release that's not from a TV group.
Well, Blu-ray groups, all they do is encode, and then they just take the script from other groups. So I don't see the problem with that.
Do they even like actually do their own things? I'm pretty sure like people just literally rip scripts, retime, and do new
That's what-
encodes.
That's what
yeah, that's
BD
what they
groups
do.
are.
But they say that they retime. They say that they fix the typesetting. You know, so on and so forth. They say they know how to encode. They don't. I mean, I've been privy to some, some of these Blu-ray groups, internal discussions. They don't know what they're doing at all. They just are willing to spend the time to do releases. I mean, which is, not comparable at all to TV groups. But so it really pisses me off. It makes me happy though that FFF, for example, is doing so many Blu-rays, even though they're slow. They are.
Yeah. Blu-ray groups
Yeah,
don't bother me at all.
Do you watch Blu-rays or do you only watch airing?
Of course.
That was a yes, not a yes or no question.
Of course, you watch
it was to the first
Blu-rays.
Well, then you don't really care.
Yeah, of course I'm watching Blu-rays.
No.
Don't care about what?
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
What?
Anyway, that's my big thing. Because I like to watch Blu-rays. The only airing shows that I actually end up watching usually are the ones I'm subbing. But get your shit together, Blu-ray groups. I'm watching you.
I'll mention mine, or actually a couple of mine. But the first is, Vegna knows this firsthand. But when signs are TS'd once in an episode and then never again, or if important signs aren't typeset at all, and it just like irks me when you actually have, especially a sign that was masked, and then later on in the episode it just like appears where it shouldn't have been. And it just bothers the shit out of me because, like, that sign, you should be consistent and just keep redoing it. It's just like a copy paste, and then you alter like the directional things and the font
I tend
size.
to agree with you, but it's like sometimes it's not copy and paste. Sometimes only thing you can get out of it is the font and maybe the color. It's like, especially some of those masked ones. If people are moving in front of them and stuff like that, it's like, if you're trying to release something in 9-12 hours or whatever, and your typesetters are on a tight schedule, it's like sometimes it's just not going to happen. And I think maybe you can get that now that you're typesetting a little bit, but I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, it actually happened. It was pretty funny because there was a non-Biori, and I typeset the textbook, and I masked the entire like front, and then redid it. And then later on, the book showed up at an angle, and then I just like gave up because I would have had to angle every single one of the typesets, and that's pretty easy to do. But I just like saw it. I didn't want to do it.
That's typesetting right there. You are a typesetter now. Congrats.
Does that make you a hypocrite?
Yes, very.
Look.
Alright,
And it's like I try to catch any of those signs that aren't done before releasing, but sometimes it's just like I'm going to be on a limited time schedule, and there's no way that it's going to happen. So, but
Noir, just a note that when that happened, I literally like looked at it. I'm like, this is my pet peeve, not doing this. But there's no way I'm going to do this. I just like stared at it for 5 minutes, and I just gave up.
Nope.avi.
So about these pet peeves, are these supposed to be fan subbing related?
We were originally going to do fan subbing, and then it's like they can be anime related. If there's a trope you hate or anything. But
okay.
I just
thought that this was like getting super serious. Like I didn't know your pet peeves were so serious, guys. Like you guys need to calm down. Take a chill pill.
I hate it when people
Seriously.
tell me to take chill pills because I don't know where to buy those.
How about you, Jark? Do you have any pet peeves?
Yes, I do.
Do tell.
Okay, well, see, I'm just an editor. My problems are mostly English related. Like, I see people not understand the I wonder question. Be like, I wonder question mark. Like, why? It really gets me mad because like it's like they're not even thinking about what they're writing down.
Yeah, I know that feel, man.
Also,
I hate
comma
when people
splices.
say that feel.
Wait, you're saying you have a problem with
too bad.
I wonder with a question mark at the end? Isn't that
Yes,
how
sir.
you would say it in English?
No.
No?
No.
I wonder is a statement, not a
Mm,
I
question.
mean,
No.
I would definitely trail it off as a question sometimes.
Unless it was something like, I wonder why you thought that.
That's not a question.
Wait, no, that's not a question either. Fuck.
Begna, it's
I
like,
wonder is never a
it's
question.
like
Yeah, you're right.
I wanted to ask you about blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
okay,
blah. That is
okay,
a statement, not a question.
So that's
Despite it-
specific case, you're saying. But there are other cases where you trail something off and have a question mark.
That makes me mad too because it makes no sense. You see, ellipsis implies that the sentence is incomplete, but something like a period or question mark implies the sentence is complete. So you're like mixing
what if
functions.
I said, "Are you?" and then you know it's implied based on the context what you are. Like I'm asking, "Are you that celebrity or something?" But I don't actually say it.
If the question, if the statement trails off, enough to use ellipsis, then I would just use ellipsis without anything else after
But
it.
then you lose the question.
But
I mean, you
in
have to
English,
assume that people aren't idiots and can figure it out.
luckily in English, questions start in a fairly uniform manner unless you have the statement that ends on a high note, like I am a robot, that kind of thing, like where you make a statement but in a question manner, but that would be a complete sentence. But generally, like are you is automatically a question. You would never make that a statement.
Okay.
Alright, what else, Jark?
That also applies to like maybe and perhaps.
What about those?
Like it's the same thing. People like in like maybe he's an idiot question mark or perhaps he's an idiot question mark, and that doesn't make any sense.
Why not?
Maybe and perhaps are
That can
statements.
be questioning the absoluteness of
Actually,
it, though.
in English,
Or the it's the unsurety? The word there. Yeah, that's it,
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
it's like
But like maybe question mark? That's a thing.
It's not. Google it. I did.
But like for example, Kore wa zombie desu ka is I am a zombie question mark, correct? Because it's like it's a statement, but it's you can end that in a question. Like there's two ways to ask a question. Explicitly starting it with like who, what, where, when, blah blah blah, those kind of things. Or you can make a statement in a question manner.
No, you see, like maybe it's like saying it may be, like it may be that he's an idiot. Wow, I am implying things all over the place.
What?
It's okay. It's nothing. I'll say it's whatever. It does. It will always.
I would say that
always
in that
bothers me,
case,
though.
it's more like perhaps he's an idiot, but because you add it with you have the question mark, it just denotes the. I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna give up on that one.
Actually, I can agree with Jart that maybe he's an idiot should probably be a statement, but I think maybe on its own can be a question mark. Actually,
I mean,
this requires a lot more thought than I originally
I
gave
think
it.
you're tying it down to like everything has to be the way it has to be. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but like you're too tied down to like textbook definitions of things.
You mean like sentences can't end in prepositions?
No,
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I do bend for like to English colloquialisms because people speak that way, and it'd be silly to make them like textbook perfect.
I don't know, man.
Something else.
Begna knows that my line fixes end up sounding like physics textbooks.
So what else gets you?
Comma splices.
Yeah, I agree with
Those
you.
are the worst.
I really hate comma splices as well. They also tend to appear a lot during interjections because people really like to put a comma after an interjection. Those get me.
This episode on the DameCast, we become a thesaurus, or not even that. Encyclopedia? Grammar handbook.
There's one thing that it's pretty rare, but I don't get it. Like sometimes people end a sentence or no, they'll use a colon in place of a comma, like for a positive or something. Like this is the sword Excalibur, colon the legendary blade of evil's bane, but it should just be a comma.
Wait, people actually do that?
Yeah, I was about to say.
People do. I've seen it.
Oh god.
It is fairly rare, though.
Yeah, I think that's just a mistake.
That or people just don't know how to English. Let's blame that.
Do you have any pet peeves that aren't editing related? Just a question.
I probably do, let me think.
I have a lot of pet peeves, man.
I have one.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Crunchyroll, / horrible subs, is literally the worst time skip in the world. Like every time I do a or every time I open up Captain Earth for Crunchyroll edit, it's just like I stare at it and I see scene bleeds literally every line, and I like almost close out the audio because I can't like actually look at it because
They also chop up their sentences like crazy.
Oh my god, yes. They don't know how to break a line at all. That's one of my things.
They break a
They
line
do
at
it
every given
because
chance they can.
they're trying to fit multiple devices, especially with smaller screens and different aspect ratios. That's why they're trying to fit as many different platforms as they possibly can without redoing it at all.
Yet somehow three-liners
they
still
don't
appear.
care.
So sad.
But also, you also have to realize that Horrible Subs restyles everything that they rip from Crunchyroll. So a lot of the times, the three-liners from Horrible Subs won't be three-liners in Crunchyroll. Yeah, so
makes sense.
Just an issue with the font and the generic Horrible Subs font.
Yeah, I mean, they're not trying to be good, they're Horrible Subs. But, no, I honestly don't like Horrible Subs at all. Not even, like, from a killing fan subbing position, but, like, that really does kind of suck. But, as someone who, pays for Crunchyroll still and always have paid for Crunchyroll, and, knowing that, yes, it would be nice if anime were more legit and had more, financial backing here in the U.S., it's like if Funimation and Aniplex or whoever knew that there was way more money out there that wasn't all just going to get stolen all the time, or all of their content, then they might actually invest here and, the shitty dubs and stuff like that, or even just, good translations with subs on Blu-ray releases or whatever could actually be possible. And, systematic copyright violation and like Horrible Subs is doing, completely ruins the chances of that. It's amazing that Crunchyroll is still managing to do as well as it is despite Horrible Subs. And it could only be far more so if it weren't for Horrible Subs.
Well, you have to consider the fact that there are a lot of people who don't even know what downloading anime is.
Yeah, but
that's very true. And
Indeed.
like also people that are scared of torrenting and don't know that things like XD.
Yeah, but so
bots
imagine if
exist.
Horrible Subs didn't exist and no alternative to Horrible Subs existed. Either the fan subs would get far, far, far more downloads. They probably would. Or Crunchyroll would just become a titan of a company. Potentially both. Yeah, it would probably be split half and half because there's some people who are willing to pay $6 a month to get instant access compared to fan subs, which are 8 hours later, or potentially 3 days later. But I don't know. I don't like Horrible Subs as a concept. It's like at least fan subs do something of worth and something that they can claim is not purely copyright infringement in fan subs. Horrible Subs just is. Anyway, that's.
They even.
I wouldn't actually say that though.
Well,
fan subbing
no.
in
It's
general is
definitely illegal,
so you can't really say that.
It provides something of worth.
It adds.
I guess
something
so,
to
but
it.
I mean, Horrible Sub doesn't claim to say.
They don't.
That
but it's like, okay, imagine a YouTube video of somebody's music video that's got lyrics, and whatever they're able to say by the, I think it's like copyright protection, whatever, DMCA, fair use. They did something of worth that is not included with the original material, and so it might not get taken down, or there's a chance you could fight it back at least. Fan subbing kind of has the same thing, where it's like it is providing something of worth. It is definitely still illegal, but it at least provides something that isn't purely copyright infringement for the purpose of copyright infringement.
Yeah, Horrible Subs is basically taking a paid service and offering it for free without even changing anything. Its
point is to just fuck with Crunchyroll. That is its entire point.
I can't stand stuff like that, honestly. Console is
it's
kind of
incredibly
childish.
childish. But
The actual funny thing is, like, I learned this recently that fan subbing is actually illegal by something like a treaty that was signed in like 1890. That basically, when it was signed, it said that all unauthorized translations of material was illegal. Like something dating that far back indirectly relates to fan subbing. Now, it's also illegal by like Japanese copyright laws and then international marketing standards, but it was addressed.
well,
back
it's
in
actually
1890. I just thought that was funny.
I think the
it's
second point
actually
is
not
much more
illegal
prominent.
from a U.S. copyright anything or international. Except I haven't heard about that treaty or whatever it is, but it's not illegal until it's licensed here. And usually the way that Crunchyroll's at least licenses are worded appear to be a streaming basis. So as long as you're not offering a streaming site that is co-licensed, then it's still legal. Funimation appears to actually have all the licenses, for any shows that they license. That includes anything U.S. based, because they will actually issue takedown requests on fan sub sites for their content. But it's actually not. It's not illegal from. It's not
Really?
illegal from a U.S. copyright or patent or anything like that, or trademark. Or international, current international laws or recent ones, because there is no respecting copyright across borders like that. There's no international copyright organization. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure there is.
That's why that's
No, there
why
has to be.
Baka
I don't think that's
even
true.
if there was
and the other,
painful.
some of the other semi-private torrent trackers that do anime don't allow licensed U.S. anime, because it's legal as long as it's not licensed here in the U.S.
I think that there's not like a black and white line here. I think that it's explicitly illegal if it's licensed here in the US, but then it grows increasingly more hazy as that.
Yeah, and then
isn't
you have
true.
to draw the line between fair use and all that stuff, and I don't know, it gets really technical.
DameCast
Oh, man.
a place where we lawyers discuss.
I don't
Masters of
know. I feel
litigation.
like this podcast is really too serious, and you guys are taking pet peeves too seriously.
At
I
this
don't
point-
know. I don't like this.
Well, at this point, we've got 50 minutes
Right.
of content from before we started. We could have a whole DameCast out of that, but then again, a lot of it's just us laughing at the announcer or the voice. But
Hey, what about Seraph or Steiner? You guys have any pet peeves?
Mm,
Hopefully not as like
really.
totally like.
I mean, like,
serious.
the only pet peeves are in those fans. I mean, it's usually like, the English errors and whatnot. But other than that, I don't concern myself too much with the other side of the scene. Maybe it's because
Oh,
I'm
maybe.
new or something, but yeah. Maybe it'll happen soon.
Maybe when fan subbers start to put their funny memes in there when they're
I
not
hate
really
it when
needed,
people
but
call them maymays.
aside from that,
Like, seriously, fight me, Steiner. It's not funny.
But Meme is a Meme.
Right.
Is that
No,
meme?
it's-
Is it actually
it's-
meme?
It's meme.
No, it's meme.
no, it's not.
It's
It's meme,
God,
but
thank
Meme
you.
is a
Okay.
meme.
Okay. Yeah.
But you explicitly write it out MAY, so like explicitly to explicate the pronunciation.
I think memes and fan subbing are kind of borderline trolling. Not borderline. They're basically trolling, and I can't stand when I see
If you explicitly
Yeah, like-
put a meme in a sub, you're definitely trolling.
If the original audio had something about like a 2-channel meme or something, then sure you can localize it because we won't understand it otherwise. But when you're just going to chuck something in,
That's
it's just shit.
Now that you mention it, I do have a pet peeve. I didn't think about this before, but I don't like it when fan subbers do like the whole text enlargening or like getting smaller or like moving around
That's
stuff.
Yeah,
only, like,
that's super.
Pretty much like
Are you
There-
referring to
Irritating.
sorry,
a
was
certain
that,
group's nisekoi?
should I not say that? No,
There-
I'm
there's
not watching
one-
Nisekoi shit.
Whoa! I'm sorry.
That's the one.
Wait, but Nara's correct.
God damn
I
it!
thought
You guys
we all
like bad.
agreed that.
It's not.
I thought we all agreed that
No,
Nisekoi was shit.
Nisekoi
No,
was
fight me.
incredibly
It's your shit.
entertaining and captivating until the end when I realized it was over.
No, dude,
Don't
Nisekoi was
spoil
shit.
it. I haven't finished.
Jesus.
Still waiting on a certain group to.
You guys suck. Just watch Commie
It's
and
a
get over with it.
rom-com
No.
that's been published in Jump.
So?
What?
What
No.
is-
It's good. You said
It's
bad
just-
taste.
It's just literally.
How is it
it's
unbearable?
unbearable.
What's wrong with it? Let's do that. What's wrong with Nisekoi? No.
Oh, here
Every
we go.
day.
Here it goes.
Say
Everything,
specifically
no,
what you
no.
don't like about it.
Even Shaft could not save such a shitty show.
Okay,
Try
so
saying that
one,
5 times fast. That was pretty tricky to say.
Even Shaft could not save such a shitty show. Even Shaft could not save such a shitty
You didn't
show.
really have to say it. I was just.
It's a joke.
the
She's
point.
there.
Alright, but so Chitoge is literally like the most incredibly generic anime character I could think of. It's unbearable to watch her actually
Which
like
character?
interact in the show. And then Onodera, Chitoge.
I think
We
you're
also have
confusing
the-
Chitoge with Onodera, because Onodera is awful. She shouldn't even be in the anime.
Onodera
Not
is
that bad.
cute.
Well,
Leave her
okay.
alone.
So Onodera is like super generic, and then she's voiced by Hanazawa Kana, and like pretty much that's like the only character she voices like that kind of type, and it's really annoying because
That was
it's nothing special. And then Chitoge is like straight up just generic tsundere. So
Okay,
there you have
Okay,
it.
okay. Let me defend this. At least, like when the main character Ichijo and Chitoge are talking, at least because they're going at it, like insulting each other, that's entertaining. But Onodera and her are just, oh god, I like him, but I can't say it because reasons.
Their interactions are so
Okay,
awkward
that-
and so
Oh,
cringy,
wait,
it's terrible.
actually.
Also,
while we're on the
on a
topic-
side
Exactly,
note,
that just falls into all the cliches.
on a side note, the main character from Nichijo, the guy, I now like associate him more with Ryuk than I do with his actual name. Just the thought.
Nisekoi? You mean?
Yeah, right.
To
Nisekoi,
Nichijo.
not my bad. Yeah, but Nisekoi.
oh.
That's his avatar everywhere.
Anyway, I don't know. I think that was kind of not the unbearable awkwardness between MC Kun and Onodera. I'm never gonna remember the male characters' names, but that was a bit over the top because there's no one whose relationship is like that at all. Yeah, there's lots of real relationships that are not relationships, but
I don't even know why you're bringing this up because Nisekoi brings the least realistic romance
maybe
you could ever
altogether.
ask
But I
for.
feel like
And whenever things start to get boring, lo and behold, let's introduce a new character,
New girl.
and it's still happening.
Is it more or less realistic than that Orashura a couple months back or years?
Orashura.
What was that?
I didn't
Orashura?
finish Orashura because I didn't like it.
I liked Orashura.
Orashura is also generic, so
Yeah, it was.
it's kind of the
It was
same
like thing
thing as
you can just
Nisekoi,
watch it without
except
thinking, but
unlike Nisekoi, Orashura actually gets places where Nisekoi does not.
No, it really doesn't.
it doesn't get places.
And it won't. And Nisekoi is not going to get places because they just want to keep publishing the manga like a shonen in Jump, and it'll just keep going.
You kind of got it.
And that's where I want to draw the parallels from other shonen shows where things start to get boring. They introduce new characters.
See,
Yeah,
that
I
may
can
be
agree
the
with. I
case,
can see
but
what
what's
you mean.
wrong with it? It's like I still enjoyed it more than a lot of other shows from last or this season.
That's
What's
the
wrong
problem with it.
doing entertainment for entertainment's sake? Isn't that the point
It's
of why
enjoyable.
we watch anime? It's not so that I can have my mind blown every.
No, I mean,
No,
no, that's not what I meant. I just meant it's a bit disappointing. I guess it's the whole season was pretty shitty, but it's pretty disappointing if you think Nisekoi is actually like
No.
really entertaining.
No, it
It's such
is
a shame.
entertaining.
But it is.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know how to explain
we're
this.
off topic here. Like really off topic. Let's get back to like little movement and subs or whatever.
Oh, you mean pet peeves?
Yes, like the point we got to this on was like when subs
It was
try to
actually-
match what's happening on screen.
I
it's
mean,
not-
I don't
think
like
there
it,
was
but
actually
like,
one
what else do you want
time
me to
that I
say?
really, really appreciated it and just laughed my ass off because of it. And it was I think it was Commie's Neptunia, where the characters are like in the background running around from side to side on the screen or whatever, and then they come back on screen right as a sign ends, and Commie like made the line tilt up in front of the characters as if they like hit the line and then took it off screen. And just because of the craziness of the scene, I actually thought that was pretty inventive and funny. I mean, sure, it was kind of trolling, but at the same time, it fit the mood of the show that was going on perfectly.
Nah, I just don't like it.
Was it a sign
No,
or
it was a dialogue
was it a
font,
sign or
or
a
a
main
dialogue
sub?
line. And it fit.
Yeah, no.
And before I have to go find it. But
Nah, dude, it's okay. I get what you're saying. I understand, but I think it's really just preference.
What
and
about-
I just don't like it.
what
And I
about
think a lot of people
cases
do.
where
A lot of people don't.
the screen,
preference.
the scene change goes from like one side of the screen to the other, kind of like, Scooby-Doo or something, where, a line goes across and, it changes the scene that way. What if the dialogue line is also similarly taken off that way?
I
Well,
would do maybe a clip.
A clip,
I
yeah,
would
that
not
happens.
move the
Does that
line.
actually happen? Huh. I don't remember seeing that
Well,
recently, so I
It
can't really
happened
comment
in
on
our
it, but
Persona,
probably not.
in the Persona movie, and it actually did like a sound effect that it was like as it moved across the screen. Yeah,
No, I mean the subtitles. Do people
I did.
transition the subtitles like that too?
Occasionally.
I don't know. I just don't like it in general. Subtitles are subtitles. They shouldn't play around with the animation too much.
See, I agree with that because
That's just my
doing
opinion.
doing that for me, it's like a little distracting. It takes away from what's going on screen, which completely goes against the purpose of subtitle, I'd say.
But I feel
To
like
just
I
be in the
would rather
background,
the subtitles,
right?
Like in a case like the one I described with Commie, it was intrusive. You noticed it, But in a case like that one that I just mentioned, I feel like that is more becoming a part of the video, so that it's not intrusive or distracting. It's like, oh look, the scene is changing, but my subs are still there. That's.
The least intrusive, so it's just
But it's
taking
not
them
though,
out
because
at
you're
end,
changing.
honestly.
You're having something disappear. That's why you try to avoid scene bleeds and stuff like that. Because if it just disappears at the wrong time, it's distracting. That's
Right, but the way so when a transition like that happens, what your eyes do is instead of they turn away from the subs and watch the transition. So the subs disappearing is actually intuitive and correct. It matches. Whereas if you left them in, it wouldn't be an issue. But just taking them out
But
of
there
the
is no
keyframe would
keyframe
be
there.
the best option. Wouldn't right when the transition
No, there
starts there would be a keyframe, and
there
right
wouldn't.
as it ends there would be a keyframe. At least the script that we have would make one.
Shouldn't it just
I mean,
make
no, it
continual
shouldn't. It doesn't.
keyframes?
It
No.
depends.
Or at least one?
I know that usually when there's like sudden movement in characters, it'll make one or multiple if there's like fast
I thought
transition.
keyframes were like 75% or something of the screen changing or something. Or
But if it's
something
a
like that?
slow transition,
I
then
don't
it
really
won't
know.
have any of that. And there's also random keyframes that are based on your x264 settings that it's like every 250 frames or something like that, or it'll do one, just so that it can keep track of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the details,
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna bother with that. But yeah,
I would just times to when the transition starts. That would be my intuition, and I feel like that would be the least intrusive option.
But back to the topic at hand, pet peeves. On a less serious note, I don't like tildes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Me neither. Those are dumb.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Luckily, I think maybe one group actually uses those, and I don't watch them, so it's fine.
It's really
fun for
kind of
me anyway.
annoying though that it seems like it should fit in some cases, like where the characters okay, Soul Eater is one of those ones that I could almost see till.
Fuck tildes, nah.
Okay, I mean it's like
LOL. Lil.
it's
Epic
For
meme.
me, it'd be like putting a music note on the screen with someone singing.
well,
You can
okay,
hear
but it's
it. I don't
like
need to see that.
some of the times. Okay, let's say you're
Right.
subbing an onomatopoeia. What do?
Yeah.
Bang.
That's a bad one.
I mean,
I think like
what's
one of
an
them
example?
from an episode of
Wait.
Soul Eater Not was,
if you want me to take an example straight from home, you can watch our flag release where there are millions of sounds and none of them are in the script. So that's just my take on it.
Isn't an onomatopoeia is though an explication of an actual sound? It's not just a sound. It's like you saying the sound. So that would actually, at least, I don't know what the Japanese equivalent is, but like I know that in Japan, for stare, they say
Yeah.
G,
Right?
and like in that case, I would actually sub. Unless if there's no typeset on the screen that actually indicates that it's a stare, I would sub the stare because that's not necessarily obvious to any viewer what she's actually doing. She, whatever.
It depends on the situation, but I would more often not than would.
Yeah, same.
I think it's editor's preference, but I wouldn't do that, something like that. I think that's silly.
and we don't include them, but it's like there's some cases where I can actually see it being used. Going back to the tilde.
I mean, I understand what you mean with the tilde. There's definitely times when you can use a tilde and it would perfectly fit and be natural and great and happy and dandy
just
and all
don't
that
like to see
stuff,
it.
but I just don't get. You don't need it. There's never a time when you. There are a lot of times where it just fits, but there's never a time when you actually need it.
Jark, what was it that you said? Subs should be like something like they just cover enough but not too much.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I'm not really sure what you mean.
You mentioned once that subs should be like, I forget what it was. Maybe a skirt.
Oh,
Subs-
yeah. I said that English subs should be are like a girl's skirt. They should be short but long enough to cover all the important bits. Like that means your English is
I don't know
you get to the
about
point
you,
with fewest
but
number of words.
I like to see
you
girls
don't.
with shorter skirts, so I'm not sure if that was a good analogy or not.
That was my point. Did that come out backwards or something?
What do you mean?
He means like so short that it doesn't cover
Right.
anything.
Like basically, you can almost see their panties or whatever. Oh god, I gotta
I
edit that
don't-
out. That's awful.
I don't almost want to see it. As a male, healthy, teenager, normal, I want to see it.
Libido. But yes, that's my
That
point.
pronounced libido.
English
Oh,
stitches should be like a girl's skirt. Skirt. Short, but long enough to cover everything important.
I don't know. Subs should just be like so natural to you that you feel like you're not reading them. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it's supposed to just blend into your mind, so you don't really think about it. It just happens. Given that might just
That's
happen
true.
that just might happen as you watch more anime and the language becomes more ingrained into your head as you start to pick up certain phrases that just pop up all over anime.
By the way,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I'd also like to inquire if we could pick a
What
topic
is-
that is a bit brighter, because I feel like this topic is just like negatives after negatives, and I don't like it because I'm more of an
I honestly
optimistic
feel like
person,
we're
I
going to end up
guess.
redoing this tomorrow or something. But
What?
Oh god.
You
God.
think? I don't wanna.
I think
Yeah.
the discussion is valid. I just think it's very negative.
Why? The beginning was funny, but Nora's right. If we can end it off on something comical, it would make it less weighty.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation
we
as a whole
continue
had a
this-
lot of valid points, but it's very negative, a bit depressing,
oh
and
yeah, I
very
wouldn't want to listen
serious.
to this, honestly.
Guys, what?
We just use like the first
Why would we do
50
this?
minutes. Because I think we do talk enough.
I was
Enough
actually
stuff
more
to-
entertained by the fact
I
that
think.
Sarah was going back between muted and unmuted. She was just going back and forth like 7 times, and I was like,
I was doing stuff.
There
What's
is
that?
one more thing I'd like to talk about,
Oh.
though. And that is weeabooism.
Okay.
is that a
Wait,
word?
I want to hear this. Do it. Say what you hate about
I
it.
hate.
First of all,
So what
define
about
weeaboo
weeaboos?
in your mind?
Okay. That I just mean like leaving your favorite words untranslated in the script. That's it. Don't do that. It gets me so mad.
No one does that.
Does that actually happen though? I don't think it happens.
I mean, I said
Yes, it does.
aside
Like
from
in-
Oni-chan, One-san.
oh,
Uh,
okay,
Cases
that.
like
Ane,
that.
Anewe.
All right, hold up.
But Jark, that's a actual like serious cultural issue
Yeah.
that there is no localization for that.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. It's just super awkward. Or you could do what I do sometimes and just
Right.
ignore it
but
altogether.
There's no actual English equivalent.
Okay, that I
Like,
would say
if you were
is just
translating
preference.
into,
I don't think we
I know
should
it's-
start an argument on that because it's a kind of a silly argument in the first place because it's just opinions. That's pretty much the argument between adding san and
Well, yeah,
omitting it.
he's saying that he doesn't like honorifics. I believe.
Yeah,
No, not honorifics. Just like I don't care about honorifics at all. I don't get people that do. But leaving your random words untranslated bothers me. If it's
But
a good
there
English
is-
equivalent,
Okay,
use
get-
it. Like I
There
remember.
isn't. Give
There isn't.
one
Like-
that is. There is a good English equivalent.
I mean, if you want to,
Let me think. Like Kyokai no Kanata, like 2 seasons ago.
oh, you know what's a good
Oh.
equivalent like bento
Oh my
and
god!
lunchbox?
Don't even start with that.
Yeah.
wait, why is that an issue? That's
I
actually
brought my
like,
lunch today.
There's
Easy.
yeah, that's like a
try
literal
try
translation.
tell,
and it's
try
perfect.
telling that to a Japanese
There's no
person.
reason to
Actually,
revoke
No, but, like-
honestly. No, but it,
I don't fucking care what
But
they
like
think.
some people would just
Just
some
translate it to
people would
lunch.
leave bento in the script because it's just a term that everyone knows. It's like it's kind of
well, okay. You know what? I go
wanna
around,
say-
or I have
I don't
gone
know.
to Japanese restaurants here that offered a bento. In America,
Yeah, I know, I have too.
at this point is common knowledge. It is the English equivalent because we know what it is. A lunchbox to me is like a semi-refrigerated or insulated box that children take to school for lunch.
plastic container.
Have you never had the plastic boxes that your mom that had separated parts and your mom put grapes in
Yes.
one
I
and a sandwich?
I made my
in
own
the
Never
other?
lunch when I was a kid. I
separated.
don't know
It
about
was
you
always
guys.
just like one box.
No, but I understand what you mean, Cheshire. Are you saying that is an equivalent to a bento?
I feel yeah, and I mean
I mean,
lunchbox is a broad term, but it does adequately match bento.
Yeah,
And I mean, okay, I get that people have a sentiment bento means something very specific, and it's also something that's
cultural.
it's very cultural, but there is nothing conveying that emotion to someone who is watching this from Europe.
Okay,
or
well,
the
let's
USA.
talk about how
literally
would
does
you have
nothing
done it
for them.
for the show Bento?
Like I said
Oh.
in the first place, I think this is really just an opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but I can definitely see the pros and cons of each of them. Therefore, I honestly don't think that we should be arguing about this because we're going to reach the same conclusion that is really up to
it
preference
absolutely
and opinion.
is. But
And that's the conclusion we're reaching right now. So I don't see why we started
it's
this
not.
in the first
I think
place.
Shark
Eggnog.
is
not
just
over
saying
yet.
that
For the
noise,
show called Bento.
which is his preference. So
I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I
I'm one
understand.
of the resident weeaboos in the group, so I am. That's
He
me.
is.
You have me to thank for your honorifics. And
And as for
Oh my god, but we need to mention grades. Please.
What?
Mention what?
The
Grades?
Japanese school system localizing the Japanese school system.
okay, that's interesting.
I don't actually approve of leaving in.
Do you mean the
I don't
argument
even know what the
between
proper
saying
names
someone
are.
is a first-year high school student versus a freshman, or something else?
That bothers me too, by the
Just
way.
in general, the way grades translate, I would just explicitly call them juniors, for second year high school
I
in
would
Japan.
never
Or
ever
senior for third
associate
year.
our grading system
And-
with theirs because
No.
it's a different number. It's like a different actual system, and it works much better if you just say a second year. They're a first year. No, it doesn't.
That
because
sounds stupid in English, though. I
listen,
can't stand
went
it.
to a
Jark,
private
Yes, it
school-
does.
I went to a private
Hold on,
school
hold on,
where
hold
you
on,
were
Franco.
a first year.
Okay.
You were a second year. You were Form 1 through 8. Or you were grade, not even grade. It was just you were a first year in the high school. You were a second year in the high school. You were a third year. That is a thing even here.
But most people don't go
You'd
to
be surprised
private
how many
school. Most people go
people
to public
do.
school.
No, but even in Banga, but even in a private school, you still can call those
You
things
can,
freshman,
but I'm saying
sophomore,
there's
junior,
really no
senior.
reason to try to associate our 4-year system with their 3-year system for high school at least. When
I actually don't.
That's-
I just
that's
don't.
not
I just
true.
don't use
That's
sophomore
not
at
true,
all.
Benga. I wouldn't say that we're associating it. If you consider the terms freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior to just reflect years in general, as in a senior would be someone in the last year of whatever education system that they were currently in.
if
Like,
I
for
were
instance,
gonna do that, if I were gonna
Freshman
Yeah, right.
being the
like a
first.
freshman in high school or a freshman in college refers to the
if
first
I
year
were
of
gonna
high
do
school
that,
or college.
then I would say that it was senior, junior, and sophomore. There would be no freshman, or it's going to be freshman, sophomore, junior.
Why?
Be-
No, because freshman
No.
means the first year, and senior means the last, and junior means the one before last.
Yeah, I just exclude sophomore. Sophomore doesn't exist for Japan, as far as I'm concerned.
But it technically, you could say sophomore too. You can. I would say, if someone translated second year as sophomore or junior, I would accept either because they both make sense if you think about it.
It makes sense, but one's a
What the
little
fuck is a sophomore? I've never heard
How
of
many?
that.
How many?
It's-
How
Yeah, I
many
mean,
years
like-
do you
It's a
have in your
10th
high
grader
school
in the
system in
Exactly.
Australia?
Actually, it's a second year.
How many
12.
in high school? How many?
In
Oh,
high
high
school,
school. Oh,
it
In high
depends,
school?
but generally
5?
it's 7 to 12. Yeah.
what?
oh,
Yeah.
do you guys have 7 to 12?
Do you guys not have middle
Yeah,
school?
so it's not like if you're trying to localize the grades with the aim of, trying to help people understand better, I don't think it's really that effective because I think it's majorities only apply to America. Because for example, in Australia, it's nothing like that. We just call them grades and stuff. We don't have sophomore, juniors, whatever.
You're in year 11, you're in year
You
8.
can,
Yeah,
you can
that's
always
pretty much it.
explicate
You can
them.
do that
You
too.
can
I
say,
like- I like that as well.
11th grade.
I mean, and
Just stuff like on my second year of high school is a lot more globally
Yeah,
recognized.
I
than
agree with
I'm a
that. And my
sophomore.
system actually,
Yeah.
from my school, actually came from Europe and Hungary, where they had Form 1 through 12. That was what it was. It was the grade numbers, and so it was like you're a senior, you're 12th form. And I think
That being said, a lot of fan subbing groups are straight up just American, so sometimes you just
I would
gotta deal
actually
with
say
it, I
that
guess.
I would say that more fan subbers, more
Fucking
English American group fan subbers are actually European than Americans. There are far more Europeans and Indonesian type area, Malaysia, than there are American fan subbers. Far more.
Arguable.
But the fans
Do they?
explicitly say that they will adopt
Where do they say that?
Yeah.
and other
They
things
do.
like
Yeah.
that.
Groups usually do.
I don't think I've
Generally
ever
in
seen
their
that on an about page.
For example, a group
Doki?
like Doki, a group like
Vivid.
Doki,
Yeah,
Does
and they
British
say that
fan
because
subs,
otherwise
and they
they'll
use
get bitched at.
British
otherwise.
English. Yeah, and other groups mentioned that they use American
I'm
English.
pretty sure Unanimated, for example, explicitly said that Vivid uses American English.
That being said, you could say Commie uses American
They
English, and I
use
think that's a given.
elite speak.
But anyway, back to what Jark is saying. There are equivalents in English, I mean American systems where you could still call them first year, second year, third year, etc. So I don't think you should have such a big problem with leaving it like that instead of, freshman, sophomore, etc.
I don't like first year, but I would accept 10th grader or something, because no one I know would ever say first year. That's my only argument.
No, that's not true. Because
Yes,
the
it is.
university that
You're gonna
the
tell me what?
university that I go to, Northeastern University, a lot of students are in a 5-year program. So if you try to call someone freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, it just does not apply. I mean, sure, freshman still applies, and maybe senior, but senior doesn't really apply because there are students in a 4-year program and then students in a 5-year program.
In my
There's
I'm in a 5-year program. Also, we have freshman, sophomore,
Or you have
pre-junior,
freshman,
junior, senior.
sophomore, junior, senior, super senior. Yeah, so it's actually not
That's it.
official at all, and you can be there for 6 years. But university is different.
University also has the issue like
Yeah.
what they consider you credit wise and what you actually are. Because like if you come in with more credits, you just like you say you're a first year, or I explicitly say first year. But you say you're a first year, but technically the college, like my professors look at me and then they like say, "Oh, you're a third year," and then you have an issue.
I don't know. I don't think there's a problem with it because I was actually at my friend's house this morning, and one of my friend's parents asked me what grade my sister, like what year in college my sister was in, and I just said she's a third year in college because I can't say she's a junior because she's not, because she's in a 5-year program. So I just said, I don't know.
I mean,
it came out It came out naturally, and no one questioned it. It's natural. I don't see the problem with it.
I think the years actually
I
applies.
think that also, especially in the third person, it almost is incredibly awkward to say freshman through senior. Like, imagine if you're talking about your younger brother or whatever, sister that's in high school, you're like, and someone's asking about them, you say, oh, they're in their third year of high school. I would almost find it very, very awkward to say they're a junior, because then they might ask me, are they in college or are they in high school?
No, I wouldn't say that, because someone asked me at the same dinner table if my brother was a junior, and I said, no, he's a senior.
Did they already know that he was in high school?
Yeah.
I think it's a given. And even if they didn't know, you could just say he's a senior in high school.
I think that requires you to know if they're in high school or in college beforehand.
All right, how about this? You don't know my little brother, but my little brother is a senior in high school. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
To imply it. But that's different. That's you're including the of high school part. If you were to say, and that still to me implies that he's a you said senior. He's in his 12th grade, 4th year of high school, last year of high school.
Yeah, they're all synonyms. I don't see the problem.
But you said it. If you just had said senior, I would have had to have asked high school or college.
Well, obviously, if someone in Japan asked you if you were a sannensei, a third year, that's really vague. You could be a third year in middle school, a third year in high school, a third year in university. So I don't see what point you're trying to bring up there.
No, we were just talking about English there, not Japanese.
I still don't understand what the point you're bringing up.
I think 1st through 4th year translates fairly, but at least it translates equally as freshman through senior into high school, if not worse. 1st through 4th year actually seems like incredibly awkward for me, but that's just because I've only grown up with the terms 9th through 12th grader and freshman through senior. That's just like all I ever used. I never actually said like I'm a second year.
I feel like I said that often too.
It just feels odd.
relatives that I didn't see often or whatever. When you had to, let them know for real what you were in, because they otherwise wouldn't know.
Whenever I speak to my relatives in Germany, I just say, explicitly say my
So
grade.
you'll say 11th grade? So you're saying...
I use them interchangeably. I don't know. I would say I'm in 10th grade. I am a sophomore. I am a second year, all interchangeably.
Germany doesn't have a
No,
high
I understand
school,
that.
technically, so that has a translation issue. But beyond that, for English at least, I think freshman, ninth grader, and I guess first year in instances could be used interchangeably. I feel like first
I don't
year
know.
is more
I don't like it
private
because
school
the
things,
terms specifically mean a year out of 4 to me. And that's why I would prefer to see it use a generic term that has no, no implied meaning. It's either, it's like 12th grade's last year, 11th grade second to last year, 10th grade third to last year, 9th grade, so on. Now, and even that doesn't quite work, because I don't believe that Japan has 12 years, do they? I think it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, is it 12
it
there
is 12.
too?
It's 3-3-3-3, or no, 6-3-3.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind then. Ignore that. But
all right, so to lighten up the conversation, we should redirect this towards certain anime that we're watching and how terrible they are.
I thought
How's that
you
lighter?
guys discussed
Like
the anime you're
Noir.
watching this season already.